Welcome to the world of Virginia Woolf, a woman who not only wrote some of the most groundbreaking fiction of the 20th century, but also fought for the rights of women and the freedom of expression. Born into an influential family in 1882, Woolf grew up surrounded by artists, intellectuals, and politicians. Woolf's own writing career began in the early 1900s with the publication of her first novel, The Voyage Out, in 1915. Over the next several decades, she would go on to write some of the most innovative and acclaimed novels of her time, including Mrs. Dalloway, To the Lighthouse, and Orlando. But Woolf's impact on literature wasn't limited to just her writing. She was also a vocal advocate for women's rights and the freedom of expression. In her major work, A Room of One's Own, she famously argued that a woman must have money and a room of her own if she is to write fiction. Fun fact, Woolf was not only a trailblazer in literature, but also in fashion. She was known to wear men's clothing, including suits and ties, which was highly unusual for women at the time. In this video, we'll dive into Woolf's life and work, examining her early life, her role in the Bloomsbury Group, her revolutionary writing style, and her lasting impact on literature and feminism. So, sit back, relax, and prepare to be wowed by the wit and wisdom of Virginia Woolf.
Growing up, Virginia Woolf was surrounded by some of the most brilliant minds of her time. Her father, Leslie Stephen, was a literary heavyweight and her half-siblings were part of the infamous Bloomsbury Group. And let me tell you, if you thought your family gatherings were interesting, you should have seen the Woolfs. They were a hotbed of artistic experimentation, intellectual debate, and political scandal. Speaking of the Bloomsbury Group, Woolf was not just a member of this elite crew, but also a hostess of their gatherings. These gatherings were where they discussed literature, art, and politics, and Woolf played a central role in many of their discussions and debates. This group of unconventional thinkers and doers would have a profound influence on Woolf's writing and worldview. They encouraged her to push the boundaries of what was considered acceptable in literature at the time, and it's no surprise that Woolf went on to become one of the most innovative and acclaimed writers of her time.
When it comes to Virginia Woolf's writing career, it's safe to say that she was a force to be reckoned with. Her first novel, The Voyage Out, was published in 1915 and it was just the beginning of her long list of literary achievements. Over the next several decades, Woolf would go on to write some of the most innovative and acclaimed novels of her time, including Mrs. Dalloway, To the Lighthouse, and Orlando. One of the things that set Woolf's writing apart was her use of stream of consciousness narrative, a technique where the author presents the thoughts and feelings of a character as they occur in real time. This allowed Woolf to delve deep into the minds of her characters and explore their innermost thoughts and emotions. It was a revolutionary approach that would have a significant impact on literature, and it's a testament to Woolf's creative genius. Fun fact, Woolf was a huge fan of Shakespeare, and she wrote an entire book called A Room of One's Own where she compares the life of Shakespeare's sister, who never existed, with hers as a woman writer. Woolf's writing career was not limited to novels, she also wrote essays, reviews, and journalism. Her work covered a wide range of topics and themes, including gender, class, and the nature of reality. She was known for her wit and wisdom, and her writing continues to be admired and studied today.
Virginia Woolf was not only a masterful writer, but also a fierce advocate for women's rights. Her feminist beliefs are evident in her writing, and her most famous work, A Room of One's Own, is a prime example of this. In this book, Woolf argues that a woman must have money and a room of her own if she is to write fiction. This may sound simple, but in the context of her time, it was a revolutionary idea. Woolf was saying that women needed the same opportunities as men to create and express themselves, and that these opportunities were not just a matter of convenience, but a matter of necessity. Fun fact, Woolf's A Room of One's Own was based on a series of lectures she gave at Cambridge University in 1928, where she argued for women's right to education and financial independence. Woolf's feminist ideals are not limited to just A Room of One's Own, they are also evident in her other works. She wrote about the struggles of women, their experiences, and the society's limitations and expectations. Woolf's work helped to pave the way for future feminist writers and thinkers, and her ideas continue to be relevant today.
When it comes to Virginia Woolf's legacy, it's hard to overstate just how much of an impact she has had on literature and feminism. Her writing continues to be read and studied today, and her ideas on women's rights and the freedom of expression continue to resonate with audiences around the world. Woolf's novels, essays, and other writings have been translated into many languages, and her work has been adapted into films, plays, and operas. Her influence can be seen in the works of countless writers, both those who came before her and those who have come after. Fun fact: Woolf's To the Lighthouse was selected as one of the 100 best English-language novels by the Modern Library and Time magazine in 1999, making her one of the few female authors to be included in this list. Woolf's influence extends beyond just literature. Her ideas on women's rights and the freedom of expression have had a profound impact on society as a whole. Her work continues to inspire generations of women, and her legacy will continue to be felt in the world of literature and beyond.
Well, that's a wrap, folks. We've explored the life and work of one of the most important figures in 20th century literature and feminism, Virginia Woolf. From her early life and the Bloomsbury Group, to her revolutionary writing style and feminist ideals, Woolf's impact on literature and society cannot be overstated. As we come to the end of this video, I hope you've enjoyed learning more about this literary icon and have been inspired by her wit and wisdom. We've covered a lot of ground in this video, but there's still so much more to discover about Woolf and her work. Fun fact: Woolf's last work, Between the Acts, was published posthumously in 1941, a year after her death by suicide. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like, write a comment and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. See you in the next one.